By now, Jason and Sarah's relationship had turned toxic. Every text, every call, every late response was a reason to argue. Jason would storm out of Sarah's apartment at midnight, slamming the doors so hard the neighbors complained that Sarah would scream into her pillow, her voice breaking from anger and heartbreak. Emily watched it all from the sidelines, calm, quiet, almost angelic. To their faces, she said things like, "I just want you both to be happy." But deep inside, she whispered, "Happiness was never yours to keep." Emily knew tension alone wouldn't be enough. She needed a stage, a moment where everything would collapse in front of everyone. So when their mutual friend, Chloe, invited the group to her family's mansion in New York for a weekend house party, Emily knew it was perfect. She encouraged Jason and Sarah to go. "It'll be fun. A getaway might fix everything," she suggested sweetly. Jason hesitated. Sarah reluctantly agreed. Neither of them knew that Emily had already prepared her final trap. The New York mansion was filled with laughter, music, and the smell of expensive wine. Dozens of college friends gathered, dancing under fairy lights in the backyard, lounging near the fireplace, gossiping in small groups. Jason and Sarah arrived together, but they looked anything but united. Their smiles were forced, their hands stiff when they touched. Emily arrived last, wearing a simple black dress, her hair down, her smile innocent. But behind that smile was the fire of revenge, ready to ignite. Throughout the night, Emily moved between them carefully. To Jason, she whispered softly, "You should ask Sarah where she was last Friday. I saw her with someone, but maybe it's not my place." Jason's jaw tightened. His drink shook slightly in his hand. To Sarah, she murmured, "Jason's been strange lately. He told me he still misses our late night talks. Sometimes I think he still loves me." Sarah's eyes widened. Her lips trembled as anger surged through her veins. The music was loud, but the storm inside both of them was louder. By midnight, the mansion was buzzing with energy. People were dancing, laughing, drinking. And then the spark hit. Jason pulled Sarah aside into the living room, his voice sharp, almost trembling. "Who were you with last Friday? Don't lie to me, Sarah." Sarah snapped. "What are you talking about? I was with Emily." "She knows that." Jason's eyes narrowed. "Then why did she tell me she saw you with someone else?" Sarah froze. Her heartbeat thundered in her chest. She looked across the room, and there was Emily, standing near the fireplace, sipping her drink, watching them with calm, unreadable eyes. Sarah stormed across the room, grabbing Emily's arm. "What did you tell Jason? Why are you lying about me?" Emily tilted her head, her expression soft, almost confused. "Sarah, I never lied. I just told Jason what I saw. If it wasn't what it looked like, maybe he should trust you more." Jason joined them, his voice rising. "Don't twist this, Emily. Just tell me the truth. Is Sarah cheating on me or not?" The room went silent. Everyone was watching now. Friends gathered, whispers filling the air. Emily set her glass down, her voice calm, steady. "Jason, Sarah has been with you all this time, but if you don't trust her, maybe you should ask yourself why." It was the perfect trap. Sarah exploded, her voice cracking with rage. "You still love her, don't you? That's why you keep doubting me." Jason's face twisted with guilt and anger. "And maybe you're still chasing other guys, Sarah. Don't act innocent." The shouting grew louder, raw and painful. Jason accused. Sarah denied. Sarah accused. Jason stayed silent, and Emily. She stood still, her face unreadable, but her heart racing with triumph. The cracks she had planted had finally split open. The house party had turned into chaos. Friends pulled Jason and Sarah apart as they screamed at each other. Sarah's mascara ran down her face. Jason's fists shook with rage. Everyone in the mansion saw it, the perfect couple crumbling before their eyes. and somewhere in the corner, Emily whispered to herself, "This is only the beginning." The mansion was no longer filled with laughter. Instead, whispers ran through every corner, whispers about Jason and Sarah. Some guests had recorded the fight on their phones. Others shook their heads, pitying the couple that once looked flawless. Jason stormed out onto the balcony, running his hands through his hair in frustration. Sarah collapsed onto the couch, tears staining her cheeks, mascara dripping black trails down her skin. Emily followed quietly, her steps soft, her presence unnoticed. She didn't need to add fuel anymore. The fire was raging on its own. Emily and Jason, the whisper of doubt, on the balcony. Jason leaned over the railing, staring at the city lights of New York. His voice was low, broken. "I don't know who to trust anymore, Emily," she swears. "She loves me, but I can't shake this feeling she's been lying." Emily placed a gentle hand on his arm. "Jason, sometimes when someone betrays you, your gut just knows. Maybe Sarah isn't the girl you thought she was." Jason turned toward her, his blue eyes searching hers. For a moment, Emily saw the boy she once loved, vulnerable, lost, but she didn't feel love anymore. She felt victory, Emily and Sarah. The silent knife, later when the party began to settle. Sarah pulled Emily into a private corner, her voice trembling with desperation. "Emily, please tell me the truth. Did Jason say he still loves you?" Emily's eyes softened, but her words were sharp. "Sarah, Jason has never stopped loving me. He told me himself." Sarah's face drained of color. Her hands shook, her lips parted, but no words came. The silent knife had cut deeper than any scream could. Jason and Sarah met again in the center of the living room. Their voices rose, louder than the music, louder than the whispers. Jason shouted, "I can't do this anymore. I don't trust you, Sarah." Sarah screamed back, "And I can't live with your obsession with Emily." Gasps echoed around the room. Everyone stared. The couple who had once been adored was tearing themselves apart, piece by piece, in front of their entire world. Emily stood at the edge of the crowd, her arms crossed lightly, her face calm, the mastermind watching her play reach its finale. Just when the shouting reached its peak, Emily stepped forward. Her voice was soft, but it carried through the silence that followed. "Maybe you both should know the truth." All eyes turned to her. Jason and Sarah froze. Emily pulled out her phone, scrolling through the gallery. And then she began showing pictures. Jason's flirty texts, Sarah's late-night visits, screenshots of conversations. Some were real, some were carefully edited. Together, they painted a picture so damning that neither Jason nor Sarah could defend themselves. The crowd gasped. Friends muttered in shock. Jason looked betrayed. Sarah looked shattered. And Emily, she looked innocent. Jason turned to Sarah, his voice hoarse. "You really did cheat on me." Sarah screamed, "No, she's lying. Emily is lying." But no one believed her, not Jason, not their friends. The evidence was too convincing. Jason shoved past Sarah, his eyes burning with rage. "We're done. Don't ever talk to me again." Sarah collapsed to her knees, sobbing, her reputation in ruins. As the night ended, the once perfect couple was over. Jason walked out, alone and broken. Sarah sat in the corner, surrounded by whispers, her face hidden in her hands. And Emily? She walked upstairs to her room, closed the door, and looked at herself in the mirror. Her reflection stared back at her, calm, composed, victorious. "They thought they could break me," she whispered, "but in the end, they destroyed each other." She smiled, not with joy, but with the cold satisfaction of justice. They say betrayal cuts the deepest. When it comes from someone you love, Emily knew that pain. She lived it. But instead of breaking, she turned her pain into power. Jason lost his trust. Sarah lost her dignity. And Emily? She lost nothing because sometimes the deadliest revenge isn't loud. It's silent and it waits until the right moment to strike. Friendship in America is like family. People trust their best friends with their deepest secrets. But what happens when that trust breaks? This is the story of Emily, Sarah, and Jason, a story of love, betrayal, and a revenge so silent that it destroyed everything. Emily grew up in Los Angeles. She was the kind of girl everyone liked, warm smile, soft-spoken voice, and a heart that trusted too easily. From high school, she had one constant in her life. Sarah was bold, confident, and loved attention. Where Emily was calm, Sarah was fire. People often said they were like day and night, different but inseparable. Their friendship was legendary in their school. Sleepovers, shopping trips at Beverly Hills, late-night Starbucks runs, road trips. Along the California coast, they did everything together. Emily trusted Sarah more than anyone. When Emily started dating Jason, a tall, charming college football player with blue eyes and a smile that could melt hearts, Sarah was the first person she told. Sarah had hugged her and whispered, "I'm so happy for you, Em. He's perfect." Emily believed her. Why wouldn't she? Sarah was her sister in everything but blood. Jason and Emily became the it couple at UCLA. He would walk her to classes, cheer for her during her theater performances, and hold her hand at every party. Sarah was always there too, snapping pictures, making jokes, teasing them. At first, it felt harmless. Emily thought Sarah was just being the supportive best friend, but slowly, Emily began to notice small things. The way Sarah's laughter lingered a little too long when Jason cracked a joke. The way Jason's eyes would shift towards Sarah when they were all together. The way Sarah would accidentally brush her hand against Jason's arm. Emily ignored it. After all, this was Sarah. Her Sarah. It was a Saturday night. Malibu beach party, music blasting, waves crashing in the background. Emily had gone inside the beach house to grab drinks. When she returned, she couldn't find Jason and Sarah. She searched through the crowd, her heart pounding with unease. Then, out near the dimly lit edge of the beach, she saw them. Jason. Sarah. Too close, laughing, whispering, and then kissing. The world around Emily collapsed. The music became a blur, the lights a haze. She stood frozen, her hands trembling. The drink slipping from her grasp and spilling onto the sand. Her best friend, her boyfriend. Together. Her chest felt heavy, her throat dry. Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't scream. She didn't run up to them. She turned away. Silently, her heart shattering. That night, she cried alone in her car, gripping the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles turned white. For days, Emily stayed quiet. She didn't confront Sarah. She didn't confront Jason. Sarah still texted her like nothing happened. Jason still smiled at her like he wasn't guilty, and Emily, she pretended to believe them. But deep inside, her pain was turning into something darker. She asked herself again and again, how could Sarah do this to me? How could Jason? Emily had always been the forgiving one, the soft one, but not anymore. Her silence wasn't weakness. It was planning. Emily decided she wouldn't scream. She wouldn't fight. She would destroy them both. Slowly, she began by observing them, watching every little detail. The times Jason looked at Sarah, the excuses Sarah made to see Jason, the lies they told. She kept a diary, not with her feelings, but with facts. Dates, times, places. She started collecting evidence, screenshots of Jason's flirty texts, pictures of Sarah leaving Jason's apartment. She didn't confront them. Not yet, because Emily knew one thing. If they broke her trust, she would break theirs completely. Weeks passed. Emily acted normal, smiling, hanging out, pretending like nothing had changed. Sarah thought she had fooled her. Jason thought he was safe, but behind Emily's calm smile was fire. She began whispering small doubts into Jason's ear. Sarah has been acting weird lately, hasn't she? I think she's been texting other guys too, but maybe I'm overthinking. And then she whispered to Sarah, Jason has been distant lately, hasn't he? He told me he still misses the old days with me. The seeds were planted. Slowly, Jason and Sarah began doubting each other. Emily waited, patiently, because revenge, she knew, was best served cold. Jason and Sarah's perfect love started to feel shaky. At first, it was just little arguments, Jason being late, Sarah checking his phone, Jason questioning where Sarah had been. Emily knew exactly how to fuel it. She didn't give them lies directly. She gave them doubts. One evening at a coffee shop in downtown LA, Jason casually asked Emily, "Hey, have you seen Sarah today?" "She said she was with you." Emily tilted her head, forcing a thoughtful look. "Oh, I thought she told you." "She left earlier than I did, said she had to meet someone." Jason's brows furrowed. He nodded slowly, sipping his coffee, but his mind already racing. Later that night, Emily texted Sarah, "Jason still seems to care a lot about me. It's awkward sometimes. Maybe you should talk to him." Emily pressed send and smiled. Sarah's jealousy. Sarah was confident, but she was also insecure about one thing: Jason's history with Emily. Whenever Jason laughed at Emily's jokes or mentioned an old memory, Sarah's smile would falter. Emily knew this, and she used it. At parties, Emily would stay close to Jason, just enough to make Sarah uneasy, but not enough to be obvious. Jason, already confused from Emily's hints, began noticing Sarah's mood swings. "Why do you get so jealous every time I talk to Emily?" he snapped one night. Sarah shot back, "Because maybe you're still in love with her." Jason went silent. He didn't deny it. And that silence cut Sarah deeper than any words could. The facade, outwardly. Emily still played the innocent best friend. She joined Sarah for shopping, sent her funny memes, and even helped her choose outfits for dates with Jason. Sarah never suspected. Jason never suspected. But Emily's diary was filling up with more and more notes. Every fight, every suspicious glance, every word of doubt she whispered. She wasn't rushing. Revenge, Emily told herself, had to be slow. It had to sting in ways that screaming never could. One evening, Sarah showed up at Emily's apartment, tears streaming down her face. "Emily, I don't know what's happening with Jason. He's so cold lately. He doesn't trust me." Emily wrapped her arms around her and whispered softly, "Don't worry, Sarah. Maybe he's just stressed. Or maybe he's hiding something." Sarah pulled back, her eyes wide. "Hiding what?" Emily shrugged, her voice calm but cutting. "I don't know. But he still texts me sometimes, just to check in. Maybe he still has feelings he hasn't told you about." Sarah's face hardened. The seed of jealousy had become a thorn. Meanwhile, Jason's trust in Sarah was crumbling. Emily had sent him a blurred picture, Sarah laughing with a guy at a cafe. What Jason didn't know was that the guy was Sarah's cousin, visiting from Chicago. Jason clenched his fists when he saw the picture. His mind didn't question it. His heart already believed what Emily wanted him to believe. "She's cheating on me," he muttered to himself, and once the thought entered his head, there was no turning back. Every night, Emily sat by her window, overlooking the LA skyline, her diary in her lap. She didn't cry anymore. She didn't feel broken anymore. Instead, she felt powerful. She was pulling the strings. Her pain was turning into control. "They thought they could betray me and live happily ever after," she whispered to herself. That happiness built on betrayal never lasts. The tension between Sarah and Jason was now visible to everyone. At gatherings, They argued quietly in corners. Sarah accused Jason of texting Emily. Jason accused Sarah of lying about her whereabouts. Their friends whispered behind their backs. The perfect couple was falling apart, and through it all, Emily stood by, smiling softly as if she were the concerned friend. But inside, she was counting down the days. The day when Jason and Sarah would finally explode. The day when all her quiet revenge would come to light. Emily wasn't done yet. She had one final plan. One last twist that would shatter them completely.